Welcome back, everybody. We've got Cult DeFi, part of the Mafia community. They're a GameFi community on PulseChain, and crazy times in this ecosystem, crazy times in crypto. The Trump inauguration, Trump launching a meme coin, buying Ethereum. It's just madness. How do you feel about this timeline that we're on?
There's a lot happening, isn't there? There really is. We've seen some, especially in the last few days, right? Leading up to the inauguration, Trump drops his coin. All his family are dropping coins by the look of it. And it's kind of, we're all hexagons, PulseXs, whatever you want to call us. I mean, we're right now, I'd say we probably should be used to all these, these haymakers, these big events that kind of, that for some reason, they just keep us down and keep us down and keep us down. And every time we try and, we see a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, something else comes around. But I think, the longer we're going sideways, when that breakout happens, I think we're going to absolutely rocket from here.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are currently thinking about the inauguration because it's fresh in everybody's head, and the Trump meme coin is the hot topic. But the main takeaway out of all that is you need to realize that his team sold $500 million of this coin, and they purchased kind of the old 2020 blue chips on Ethereum, or you could call them the DeFi coins, the Chainlink, Aave, and then about $200 million worth of Ethereum as well. So regardless of what's happening, careful of just chasing the shiny thing, obviously. Although I do actually believe that the Trump meme coin, with the amount of volume that it's doing and the amount of liquidity it has, it's blowing every other meme coin out of the water. And so I think it does actually have staying power. Typically, I mean, Trump himself, the meme value of that human, right? He's the most talked about human being on the planet. So if he's going to launch a coin, I don't think it's actually going anywhere anytime soon. So it's fun just to now live in this world and have to, I guess everyone had a state of cope, because as we saw, the liquidity rushed out of alts and into Trump. And now we've seen liquidity rush back into those alts. And I think when the tide goes in and the tide goes out, hopefully we're left with more money on chain than we were before. We obviously attracted a lot of dumb money, or you could call it emotional money, retail money, that just wanted to chase the Trump coin. I got like at least 5 messages, probably more by now, of people that I never usually hear from, saying, how do I buy this thing? And I'm like, oh no, good luck. But hey, maybe there's some liquidity plays to be made over there with a coin doing $10 billion of volume. Maybe you could start a liquidity position and funnel some of that money back into PulseChain to build your position even higher. I think there's always strategies for advanced players to kind of take advantage of LP. And when a coin is doing that much volume, the fees must be pretty astronomically high. So I think we're just going to be living in a Trump world now, whether we like it or not. I actually don't think his meme coin is going to rug to zero like everybody wants it to. Although there is that feeling of cuckery in the air of like, why is it not my coin? I just want to say that's universal. That's not just PulseChain. That's not just our little ecosystem. That's probably how everybody across all of crypto has felt. But the prices are back up today. We've got PLS up 5%, PulseX up 7%, INC up 6%, Hex back up 7%. Nature is healing, and again, hopefully some of this money will stay on chain, and they'll start to rotate to Ethereum, rotate to PulseChain. So, how are you feeling about everything right now?
I feel good. I mean, over the last few weeks, I've been doing quite a lot of streams, with various people, and I think the sentiment over on our side is, look, it's literally just we're playing a waiting game, right? We're literally just playing a waiting game, and largely, I mean, yeah, it is, but largely, I think it's really, I think when Ethereum really starts to move, I think the sentiment over here on PulseChain is going to be hella different from what it is now. I think I saw earlier on today on X, Nuclear Herbs wrote a nice message to the new chairs at the SEC, right, regarding the case. I think everyone in the community is kind of doing their part for what they can right now, and one of the things that we're doing really is try and just really build some really cool stuff for when people do come over here. I think that's what it's about. I've said it a few times. we need, yes, we want people over here, and everyone's dying to, green candles will get a lot of people here for sure. But when they come here, we need the cool tech for them to stay here.
Yeah, that's a good segue. We're going to get into what you've been working on, which I know is a very interesting project. But to finish on the Trump note, I think that everybody is playing a great role, including your Mafia community, the whole GameFi space. People that don't know what GameFi is, it's gamified crypto, playing games in the real world and using PulseChain to do that. But there's only so much within our control, and then macro takes over. And so when you see things like the SEC having a secret meeting, or I should say a closed door meeting with Trump on the 23rd, and they're going to discuss dismissing a lot of these regulatory open cases. It is very bullish in terms of, yes, we have been waiting, but this is finally probably the gate that we need. And even the Trump meme coin, it was kind of like, if Trump is doing it, it's crime season, baby. That's what everybody's saying. But
did I hear correctly that Trump today signed a bunch of executive orders that about ETFs, and there's potentially going to be a Trump coin ETF?
Yeah, all kinds of them. Solana, and of course Trump, right? Of course he's going to make an ETF, but or some companies are going to get behind that. That's just how powerful the meme is. And hey, great. The more ETFs, the better. The more exposure, the better. Because normies can get into crypto. But everyone's been waiting for that ETH rotation. It is the most hated coin right now compared to Solana, especially. You got the Ethereum Foundation imploding, and everyone's getting mad at the soy boy cuckery of the ETH Foundation. The World Economic Forum, bug-eating, non-binary type of. We don't want to win. We just want to be Zen, man. And it's like, no, we actually all want to win, and we want the number to go up too. So I think everything's just going to play out how it's going to play out. I do think Ethereum will come back. I would love to see it come back in terms of the price, because I know that the developers are the best. The developer community on Ethereum is the best. All the innovation over on Ethereum so far is the best without sacrificing too much decentralization, right? It really is getting better, even if it's very slow to get better. Like even if the improvements for lowering the transaction fees might take more, 3 or 4 more years, eventually they'll get it together. And then we've got PulseChain today, right now, which you can always bridge to. And if you like loud marketing, and if you're upset with the Ethereum community, we have got the marketing team that Ethereum wishes they had.
Exactly. We really do. I mean, I couldn't be more happy with the community that we have over here. I mean, we see the bickering, we see the people going back and forward, but I liken it to like siblings. We're all part of this family, and the siblings are going to fight. You just, let them get on with us, because at the end of the day, it'll all come out in the wash, as they say. I mean, what are your feelings? Do you think we have much longer to go before Ethereum starts to move?
God, I hope not. I've been waiting for too long. It has been a long bear, and the suppression of the macro environment was not very friendly to crypto. We've never had to live through a quantitative tightening environment, and we've never had to live through a full-out attack on crypto from the legal standpoint. But that just means that we've gotten to this stage where it's too big to ignore. I think everybody's planted their seeds and like staked their claim, or preserve their piece of land, and in your case, literally like metaverse land. People are they're really making their reputations, their businesses, their projects, and now it's just a matter of telling the world about it.
That's it. And I mean, we have the right community to do that, right? Yeah, I mean, we've been working quite hard now on this metaverse project. I mean, I know you had Jacob on with you a few months ago to talk about the Mafia when it was sort of quite new and fresh. And so the whole Mafia game, really, it was decided to launch it in different stages, because it's quite a large game. I mean, it's not just not just metaverse, but everything inside, all the mechanics, all the pulleys and levers, everything. I mean, it's quite a big project. And Jacob decided to do it in different stages, different phases. It grew. I think it was from 11 to 12, and now I think it's like 15. But largely, the biggest one obviously was actually making the metaverse, designing the metaverse, getting the layout of the land, if you like, for all the players. And the players have plenty of stuff to do in the meantime. But now Map is here, right? Map is here now for the last 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. We've seen on PulseChain from the 11 cities that we've actually designed on PulseChain, 10 of them have gone. They're sold out. Right, they're gone to all the families. The families are really fighting over this land because they want to try and secure these vault payments. I mean, that is ultimately what Mafia is about, right? Right now, we've got about 7.3 billion pulse in the vault, ready to be dished out to those top 5 families as we continue to go forward. And yeah, it's been a bit of a hell of a ride so far. There's like. We just launched a new phase, literally went live today, which is the marketing DAO. So anyone that doesn't know, so with the Mafia token, there are buy and sell taxes that helps fuel the in-game economy, really. And part of that now has become this marketing DAO that we have. So basically 2% of all of the fees, or all of the revenues, I guess, that the protocol makes, that the protocol generates, goes directly into this marketing DAO. And every week, the community will be able to vote with their Mafia tokens itself to decide where we take that marketing. Is it going to be, taking out banner ads on DEX screeners, or is it going to be going after some fairly large content creators or influencers, or is it going to be, whatever we can do for marketing wise, maybe some nice articles written about us, approach some pretty big names, pretty heavy hitters around the place.
I wouldn't mind some nice articles, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly, right. It'd be a nice change to get some nice stuff out there for once in a while. But yeah, I mean, we think it's going to be pretty good, because it kind of gives the community, and the players themselves a chance to sort of steer the ship, if you like, decide which way they want to take the protocol. Because, like I say, we need everything to be ready when retail comes, or when the hordes start coming over to PulseChain, which they are going to come. I mean, they're coming. We're gearing up for right now. I think there's quite a lot of tension in the air. With not just with the PulseChain community, but with crypto in general right now. And I think it's because this is like the calm before the storm. It's coming, and we got to be ready.
Anxiety in the air. It's kind of
you can feel it, right?
Yes, it's like times everything's very good, but at the same time, everybody's very anxious. I mean, there's always that seed of doubt in the back of everyone's head of like, what if it all is just BS? What if no?
Well, that's it, right? It's the what if this happens, or what if that happens? Yeah.
But just look at the rate of crypto adoption. It's being adopted at a faster rate than the internet. We've got the most solid products in terms of decentralized tech. We've got the most fanatic community, best organic advertising. And so it's even better if you can have some marketing. And I love marketing. I love learning about it. I love doing it. And so for people watching that might not know, Mafia is a game. Okay. Mafia is a game where you can buy NFTs for your character. You can make relationships and form basically Mafia families with other players, other Ethereum or PulseChain addresses, and get power-ups and kind of like kill each other and form alliances and betray. It's like a very interesting concept that's been running for a long time now. I think I've got a little Mafia token. It's doing pretty okay. And
do you have a character yet?
Sorry?
Have you created a character yet?
I created one public character. I actually haven't checked in on him in a while. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody killed me already. Actually,
no, the killing hasn't gone live yet. The killing, we're still a couple of phases away from that. Yeah, basically, we need to educate everyone and build out a bit more infrastructure before we allow the killing to happen. Killing someone is going to be quite difficult in game, to be honest, and it could be quite costly. Yeah, it's a game. Yeah, it's a game, but really, it's a full game on blockchain, right? It's a full game on chain. It's here on PulseChain, first metaverse on PulseChain. We do have the same game also being played on BNB as BNB Mafia. And one of the future things, which I think is going to be great, I think is fantastic for onboarding for PulseChain, is the fact that when Chainlink CCIP is fully operable and we can really use it, we can take this game to other chains and then allow these other chains to play against the families that are on PulseChain. Maybe the families on PulseChain decide to go and raid some of the families and territories on BaseChain, for example. And because we have quite strong families, I want to say, on PulseChain, because people will be able to see that the money being earned on one chain and there's money being earned on another chain. I mean, I think it's going to be natural that people will start flowing over to PulseChain. Not only that, obviously there will be that, they'll find out very quickly who the team are behind Mafia, and they're a bunch of PulseChain devs. So let's go and see what else they have, because as you know, I mean, Jacob and team, they have a bunch of protocols under their belt already.
So that's great. I didn't know you were going multi-chain. I mean, talk about forming alliances, and then this is branching out to completely other communities. Yeah, if people like gaming, I would check this out. As far as a crypto game, it's actually legit. A lot of the old play to earn games I used to see, they were just button mashing, grinding. This one's a little bit more strategic and not so much like live action. It's kind of like you take your time. You wake up every day, you check your character. Again, I'm not like super deep in the weeds, but I've played around enough to see the appeal. And I wanted to ask how that marketing budget is funded, and also if you could tell people about the vault where the winners have like access to like 1 billion pulse.
Yeah, so I think we start with the vault. So with the vault, basically all of the buy and sell transactions on the Mafia token itself go to 100% go to feeding the vault. Certain actions in game also that taken out by characters, carried out by characters, that also goes to feed the vault. And right now, like I said, the vault is at 7.3 billion pulse. So every week the vault will pay out 10% of its total value to the top 5 families in the game. Those families are ranked basically by their family worth, which is how much territory they control, if they're individual players. So the family's worth is really made up of the power and the worth of their characters, or of the members of the family. So if you have a bunch of people that have very ranked up characters, and they have a bunch of inventory items that they maybe bought from opening the crates, or maybe they bought off the NFT marketplace, or on an NFT marketplace, it all adds to the family's worth. So the top 5 families will get 10% of this money every single week, without fail. I mean, it's just an automatic payment that goes out. Right now, as it stands, I think Pulse price, the vault, is probably worth about $420,000 at the moment worth of Pulse, right? So if we were to say, that price right now, then the vault is paying out $45,000 a week to the top 5 families. It's up to those families, it's up to the dons, or the controlling members of that family, to decide what they want to do with that money. Maybe they want to reinvest it in the game to ensure their rank, or keep ranking up the family the whole time. Maybe they want to split it equally between all the family members, or maybe they just want to, I mean, it's Mafia, maybe they just want to take the money and put it somewhere else, invest in something else. It's kind of up to them. And so when you create your character is actually tied to your wallet address and address. Your character can be killed in game, which means that if someone decides to take you on because maybe they want to control some of the items that you have, or maybe they just don't like you. We've seen quite a lot of battling going back and forward between some guys in the Telegram chats already. I think some people have already painted a target on their back for when killing comes around. And and it's kind of real, because if you think about it, if an individual player is maybe making $3, $5, $10, $20,000 a week out of this game, because they control a certain amount of area, or because they have a certain number of business items, I mean, it's human nature. Envy is a horrible thing. Some people might say, hey, okay, I want to try and kill that character and take those resources because I want that $20,000 a week. And then families basically can go out for full out family war, and we can see a lot of people get hurt in the process, and a lot of people enrich themselves in the process.
It's almost like an interactive, almost like one of those murder mystery things that's in like one of those IRL things, but you just put it on the blockchain. It's a creative idea in terms of gaming. It's like because there's a social component to it, and the social component comes out of the game. It's not all, but basically what you've just added that I've been seeing screenshots of was kind of this metaverse component. So now families can also buy digital land. How does that work?
So so we have 11 cities that are controlled by the community. In each city, I want to say there's between 650 and maybe 750 different individual little square land tiles. And for the price of a key, and keys in the game cost $20. So for the price of a key, you can open these crates and you can get a piece of land. So some land is more developed than others. So you might get like an empty piece of land, or you might get a piece of land with maybe a shed on it, or you might get a piece of land with a hotel on it. Through the in-game economy, so we have something called in-game cash, which is ratio to Mafia, and basically all your actions that you do in-game, if you're successful in those actions, you get rewarded in in-game cash. Through ranking up your land, so for example, if you start off with, let's say you start off with a shed and you rank up to a house, it costs you some in-game cash, plus you might have to stake away some Mafia. So that's one of the big staking components in the game. Obviously, you want to take as much Mafia out of circulation as possible, right? There's only 1 billion tokens in circulation in general. So finding ways for the community to lock up those tokens is key and paramount for us. We like staking, don't we? I mean, we're all a bunch of hexagons at heart, really. So once you rank up your land, you'll start to earn inflationary yield every 24 hours. So it's basically just like a passive income. It's just, it's earning you this in-game cash. You can choose to, ratio that out to Mafia in the exchange if you want, and just, spend it on whatever you want. Or again, you can choose to reinvest it back into your character, into your worth, into your wallet, if you like, and ensure that you are as strong as possible and that nobody can mess with you. We think that people will start messing with other players, like I say. So being in the position of power and security is key, really, to guarantee that you're making money. I mean, we know that in the game, there's probably over 50 different ways you can earn this in-game cash by doing various tasks, whether it's stealing a car or robbing a hot dog vendor or robbing a bank or smuggling narcotics or smuggling booze. Through all of these different things, and through a series of RNGs, you're either successful or you're not. If you're successful, then we can see people eventually playing this game, almost like a full-time job.
What an interesting idea. Yeah, I mean, if you get paid a significant amount, once that vault accumulates, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the top 5 families that are raking in $4 to $5K a month, you get paid a full-time salary for just playing a game. But it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a game with financial incentives on the line. Again, very interesting concept, and I know the developer is his name Jacob, right?
Jacob, yeah.
Yeah. So he invented PulsePots and Pulse Predicts and some prediction markets that were also very interesting. But we haven't seen a lot of people go to those, probably because there's not a lot of people in crypto in general. When crypto becomes more mainstream, you're gonna have to have that gambling platform, that prediction market platform. So it's good that they're just waiting there and ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. Jacob is really building out the city of PulseChain for when everybody comes.
Are those things connected? The original PulsePot and Pulse Predict, are they somehow related to Mafia?
No, not really, but some of the components, I mean, some of the RNG components that Jacob has developed with PulsePot, for example, are again used in Mafia. For the jackpot game, for example, which pairs players against players and smart contracts in order to literally win some cash. There are some games in Mafia that are similar. We're going to have the roulette game, for example, in Mafia also. It's actually one of the business items. So if you own the roulette table in Mafia, other players can come and play on your roulette table. And so basically, you are the house. So you have the house advantage. So they're betting with, maybe some of the inventory items. So they're betting with in-game cash. If you have the house, you have that advantage, so you can win. So it's just basically earning you money for as long as people are playing it. One thing to be cautious of, though, is you need to be, as the house, you need to be able to guarantee all bets. If someone comes along and puts $1,000 on number one and it hits, you're going to have to fork out those winnings, or that player will take your roulette table off you, and then they will own the roulette table. And then, as Jacob is kind of fond of saying, after that, you can probably reach out to that player and say, hey, look, that was a mistake, give it back. And, I will pay you your money, but it'll take some time. Or you could come out and all out threaten them and say, okay, look, I'm part of this very strong family. you need to sign that back over to me right now, or else we're going to come after you. It's a real kill and be killed game.
Well, good. Maybe it's just a place for people to channel their aggression too. Hey, games
can
are
be.
good for that game.
Yeah, there's a lot of frustration already going on. So
yeah. So how do you feel about launching in this this bear market? How do you feel about adoption and where that's heading? Like, is the marketing budget going to feed into this? Let's talk a little bit about all that.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I couldn't be happier at the stage where we are. Right. I mean, the larger, the macro scene for us is kind of okay, right? We're on PulseChain, we're just waiting for people to come across. We know that when they do start to come across, maybe it's because ETH just starts to move. Maybe it's because we might get some good SEC news. Maybe Richard Hart decides to do something nice again, like start streaming, or give people a bit more guidance on what his plans are. I mean, all of that really kind of hedges on the SEC, I guess. But I mean, once we start to see some positive news over here, I think the floodgates are going to open. I really don't think, we're being, PulseChain itself is being suppressed. We know that, right? We know for a number of reasons, whether it's literally some people just don't like Richard. I mean, whatever the reasons are, it's happening. And we're just playing, we have to play this waiting game. But at the same time, don't just sit on your hands. If you're out there, anybody that's listening, if you're out there and if you've got some cool ideas to build stuff that you think PulseChain needs, go and do it, please. Because I'm not going to say time is running out, but wouldn't it be nice to have everything here for when retail does come? We don't want them to come here and play with our stuff and maybe play around with liquid loans or play around with any of these other things, right? We want some really cool stuff over here. And we have some really talented builders who are doing that stuff already. We just need more of it, in my opinion.
There's no shortage of passion in this community. And I think a lot of the people that didn't really believe have been shaken out. Otherwise, they've done stuff like what you're doing. Is they've created their own sector of building their own version of what they want reality to look like. And if you don't want to build or promote or market, I'd say the best option after that is just to go stack paychecks or make some money in the real world, quote unquote, to funnel back in to build your positions up a little higher. And everybody seems to have that approach right now. It is a waiting game. It does suck, but it's great to see people like the thing that people get wrong about PulseChain is they don't understand the passion that's going on here. They don't understand like how committed some of these builders are and how committed Richard Hart actually is. They write him off. They say, oh, he's on the run. It's a ghost chain. Like, the Cardano founder, I think we proved to him that it wasn't a ghost chain with the amount of Twitter engagement he received, but
yeah, exactly.
People don't realize. So you want to show a little demo of what's going on with this?
I can, yeah. Let me.
By the way, is your name Cult DeFi?
Cult DeFi, yeah. KVLT.
Yeah,
it's just pronounced. It's pronounced Cult.
So I'm going to pull up what the game actually looks like. All right.
Cool. Yeah. So this is basically our landing page. So anyone that comes here, you'll land on this page. You'll have to connect a wallet just so you can interact with the dApp, and it'll just say get started. So getting started means you would need to first activate a player, right? Create a player. That costs 2,000 Mafia tokens, which I think is around $3 right now at the moment. Once you create your character, then you are given your own little avatar, and then you can choose to do a few different things. So, I mean, if we just have a look here on the players tab, we can see, let's just pick the top player. Who have we got? So Carnage is the top player in the whole game at the moment, right? Carnage, we can see, is very rich. He's got 75,000 worth. So that worth comes from all of his different inventory items. So maybe he's got a lot of weapons. Maybe he's got a lot of security. Maybe he owns a few business items and a few bits of land around, We can see here actually that he has quite a large amount of real estate. So basically every Mafia family tries their best to control their territory, just so they can be guaranteed that they're going to be getting these vault payments. So it's not unusual to see some of the larger players. I mean, if we scroll across here, we can see he has a huge amount of land. He has some empty tiles, he has some apartments, he has some office buildings, some houses. even some sheds, some empty tiles also that he can choose to develop at a later date. That all adds to his family's worth, so it makes him a really, really powerful player in the game. We can see here that his worth chart goes up and down, right? So this is a nice little feature actually. So but this shows where his worth comes from. So we can see here that the yellow basically comes from his own personal worth in the game. His family average, we can see down here, is the pink line. So his family are kind of doing okay, but he is really head and shoulders above that. That's what puts him into that top position. And then we can see down the bottom a blue line. That's the game average. So that's the average worth of a player in game. So we can see here that Carnage is really doing something, quite miraculous actually for the family. We can see, so once we do that, then we can go over to crates. So once you have your character, it's a good idea then to try and rank it up. So you can rank up by going to the NFT marketplace. We'll have a look at that in a second. Or you can buy some keys through our exchange, and then you can start opening up these crates yourself. Now, I think you remember a while back when this first started, there was a lot of guys out there that were opening these. I mean, they were actually doing streams where they were just opening these crates en masse, and they were getting quite a lot of really cool stuff out of it. This is done through a series of 2 RNG principles, right? So once you open your crate it'll give you one of these items. So whether it's in-game cash, bullets, health, shop items, bodyguards, cars, keys, or actually you can even win Mafia inside some of these too, Mafia token itself. And then the secondary RNG will give you which level it is. So do you win $50, $50,000 cash, or do you win $10 million cash, right? Again, all of this goes to your inventory. This is quite addictive. We can see it's quite addictive. We can see here this is just some of the things that I've opened myself for this demo account that I have here. So you can see I've got a bulletproof vest, $350,000 cash, some bodyguards, some bullets, some health tokens, some weapons, all of that really cool stuff.
Coming out of a crate. That's funny.
Yeah.
Maybe some people will start streaming this one day. Who knows?
We've seen it already. Like I say, we will see people that are doing this, like full time. We'll absolutely see it. I really do believe that will happen. Something similar like Axie Infinity did. We'll see multiple people that are out there. Like I say, you don't necessarily even have to join a family to be successful in this game, because as a rogue player, you could literally just walk around doing these various heists yourself. And you can just be, earning through the RNG if you're successful. You can just be earning some bits of cash every day. I mean, even I would say as an individual rogue player, there's nothing to say you couldn't be making, $400, $500, $600 a day even at this if you were to dedicate the right time to it. I mean, obviously, there's not financial advice. I'm definitely not a financial advisor or anything like that.
Right. But what if somebody kills you, and what if you have to start from square one?
So that can happen. We've introduced something which is called testimonial. So it's basically like a will in the game. If your character is killed for whatever reason, certain amount of your inventory you can put in a testimonial, like a will, to another player or to a family, or maybe a family don in your absence.
Or it could just be another one of your own players.
It could be. We've seen that too. We've seen some people that have set up various profiles. Some people have a profile which is very offensive, has all the weapons, all the bullets, all the offensive bodyguards. And then some people have, that person might have another profile which is very defensive. So it has all the health tokens, it has all the helper credits, and it has all the defensive bodyguards. And so that's up to your own individual strategy, whatever you want to do. But we're starting to see it.
Kind of healing or building. I don't know. I'm thinking of like mages and healers now, like other characteristics of other players.
No, not in this, but I mean, you will have health. If you are in need of health, you can go to an in-game hospital and you can get help from the hospital. Or, I think what we're going to see people that are going to stack up on bullets and on health tokens, just to be sure. If somebody comes to try and attack you, you need to make sure you have enough bullets to return fire, and one player will win. It'll also be the same with health. And something which I think is actually really, really cool, which hasn't happened yet, it's one of the upcoming stages. So bullet token and health are actually going to be external tokens similar to Mafia tokens, which are going to be freely traded on dexes externally, and then you can choose to bridge those in or out of the game as you see fit. So there will be 3 tokens externally, and then we have the in-game cash, which is purely in-game, which you can ratio in and out of those various tokens. I think that in itself is going to be something, pretty spectacular, actually. People can speculate. Yeah, people could speculate on the price of bullets and health just based on how successful the game is, how many people are actually playing it. So it's just a pure speculation play.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I hope it works out. I hope it catches on, especially as more people in the world will become crypto native eventually. As far as the marketing DAO, like, what has that gone into action? Has the community voted on some kind of like influencer marketing or something like this?
Not yet. Literally, this went live today.
Okay.
So I think so you can see here on this page how it's done. So we can see we've already got like $1,600 in there. That's literally just 2% of the transactions of the Mafia token. So in a few hours, that's already there. It's not so bad already. Yeah. So in round 1, we'll be able to see here when this actually opens up. We'll be able to see. So you can vote on these 3 different things. So it could be, take out some banner ads. They will cost this much. There's an admin fee, obviously, because we're setting everything up, and then a delivery date. So if the community choose to do that, fantastic. So we'll put that into action straight away. Number 2 could be, find some big mainstream influencer who wants money to do all this kind of stuff. A lot of the bigger boys really they won't even look at a project until their palms are greased, shall we say? So that could be a number 2, and a number 3 could be, hey, just save all of that until the next week, because maybe we'll say, okay, look, we don't want to spend $1,500 this week. Why don't we roll it into next week, and then we have $3,000 to spend.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. So I like the fact that it pushes it back on the community, and obviously there will be some executive decisions made by Jacob and team. But ultimately, I think giving people the opportunity to drive the direction of this protocol themselves, giving the players an opportunity, I think that in itself is gold dust.
I'd really like to see it go multi-chain, because then you get all that inbound liquidity from some of the BNB guys, some of the base guys. I hope that when new people find out, that they just get addicted to spinning the wheel of the opening boxes and stuff. I spent a too long of an amount of time that I'd like to admit. when I first found out about this game, I was just opening crates for like probably an hour or 2. But yeah, I could see people getting a little bit hooked on it. How many players do you have now? Is it like, did I see 1,000, 1,200?
Yeah, I think on Pulse, yeah, we're at 1,114, and we broke 1,000 on
It is crime season, so crime families.
Yeah, and we broke 1,000 on BNB. We can see here actually. So from a total of about 6,700 available land tiles in the beginning, we can see there's only 210 left on Pulse. Wow. These families, because this stage was really the biggest, it took the longest to get out. So families had a long time to really strategize what they were going to do to secure their territories. Some of them pooled resources. Some families actually have, I know we've got some PulseChain whales that are playing this game right now. Cool. It's all happening, and I think, like on PulseChain, if you show up with something really good, it takes a bit of time for the community really to adopt it. It does.
Well, it should. Nobody should be aping into like the brand new thing, like.
Absolutely.
I think you guys have been out for a while, and it's a cool concept. I'm sorry if I cut you off, but I want to ask, like, how is there any mechanism of bridging right now? So you said you have 1,000 players on BNB. Do they have a way to get their money onto PulseChain?
No, not at the moment. Basically, we do have actually players that are, some people that are playing on both chains. So if a player wants to play on one chain or the other, they would literally have to go set up a character on that chain and play their own individual game, if you like, right now. We've seen some families that have a family on Pulse and a family on BNB. The strategies might be a little bit different for what they want, because we know that a lot of the people that are playing over on BNB are really from the BNB community, and they're starting to come over and play on Pulse too. We've seen
Very
it
nice.
already. So we've already seen that happening. Even with the altogether 2,000 players. So let's say 30% of them are probably players that are playing on both chains. The rest are sort of individuals who chain specific. But I think in time, when we start to add a few zeros onto the number of players, or we start to add a few zeros onto the vault, because if you think about it, if Pulse does a 10x from here, which is really conservative and quite achievable quite quickly, then all of a sudden the vault could be paying out $450,000 a week. And I think that's when people will literally say, okay, look, let me just create a character and go and do some of these heists just so I can get that $500 a week, or $1,000 a week as an individual player, as opposed to going and creating a family and doing all this good stuff. I like to say this game, it gives you as much as you put in. It gives you out as much as you put in. You can be as busy as you want on this, or you can, be quite laid back. We've seen some people just opening the crates like you were talking about. We've seen some people who right now their sole purpose in the game is just opening these crates and then putting them immediately on this in-game marketplace that we have. And they're earning really good money. They're earning a few $1,000s a week just from reselling inventory items.
Wow. I'm not much of a gamer myself, but I mean, I used to be, and it's just fascinating. I can see it all happening in my head. Like I can see all the pipes that are connecting, and it's becoming a little bit of an economy within the whole chain. It's great.
I think this is the in-game economy in Mafia. I think is going to absolutely eclipse the Mafia token price itself, because Mafia token price really is about getting people into the game. Once you're in the game, you have this whole different in-game inventory. But we can see here somebody's selling a Douglas M3, which is a plane in game. They're selling it for $250 worth of Mafia token. They spent $20 on that key to open it. And we've seen hundreds of these being sold. As a matter of fact, we can see here that the marketplace so far has sold $320,000 worth of items.
Who is selling a car for $2,500,000 in cash?
That's the in-game cash.
Oh, okay.
So
in-game. That makes so much more sense. So
you can sell your items for in-game cash. You can sell it for Pulse, or you can sell it for Mafia token.
Well, I mean,
that in itself is adding to the vault.
So, are there any other currencies I could choose to sell something for?
No. If you want to sell something, no. But I mean, to get into the game, you can buy your keys with pretty much nearly any token on Pulse that actually has decent liquidity. Right. We can see here. Look, someone is selling a hotel in the city of Messina. They're selling it for $1,260 in Pulse. And again,
why would that be worth so much?
Because those those pieces of land, because this has a hotel on it, so this land actually effectively is paying out in-game cash yield every 24 hours. It's almost like a passive income item. Maybe that item is in quite a specific area near one of the family's headquarters, or maybe it's quite a strategic placement on the map for a certain family to want to control. I think even saying that, I think these prices are nowhere near what they could potentially be worth in the future. I mean, if you think that if there was a piece of land on the map which is very strategic to a family's getting a vault payout, if the vault payout they were getting every week was $50,000, and you have this one tile which is holding up you getting that fee, getting that payment, how much is that tile worth to you then as a family?
Yeah, I mean, how much is the forward-looking, like the future cash flow of that?
Exactly. So if you were an owner of that tile, I think number one, you might be a little bit worried in case the family just come after you and demand that you give it to them for whatever price they want to give you, or they could threaten to just kill you and take it. Or if you are from another family, one family says they want it, your family says no, but you're holding up a family getting these significant vault payouts every week. I think we could definitely see some sparks happening then.
Yeah, wow. Can you go over to the exchange section? I've got some questions.
Yeah. So the exchange is really how people get in and out of the game.
Okay. So I can see you're buying cash here. Is cash an ERC20 token?
No, this is purely the in-game cash. So it's just
Oh, right,
the in-game
right.
economy. Yeah. So let's just say someone wanted to, I don't know, it's EDI. Let's say someone wanted to buy $500 worth of EDI. So that $500 is actually worth almost 10 million, 10 million in-game cash, minus obviously the fee for the vault, right? 4.7% tax. And then, so you have your in-game cash. So in using that in-game cash, you can buy your keys, you can rank up your character maybe by buying inventory items. You can use it to build up from, you know, a house to a hotel to, you know, whatever land tile you want. So it basically all goes to fueling this in-game economy and feeding the vault. We also have something similar then with withdraw. So the withdraw feature, if we look here, so in-game cash at the moment has its own market cap of $5.4 million. That taken into consideration the ratio to Mafia token. So if a player wants to exit their position or they want to just sell some of that in-game cash to ratio back out to Mafia token, they can choose that, make it basically put it up for sale here. It can be bought inside the game. It can be bought by the protocol itself. The protocol itself will always look for good deals, so it can actually take that in-game cash and then burn it as part of the feature to make sure that inflation doesn't get out of hand. Or another player can come along and see a good deal and say, wow, you know, that's quite undervalued at the moment. I'll take that position myself.
Interesting. Is there anything else I can buy initially other than in-game cash when I deposit funds?
From the exchange?
Yeah.
No, so
Just
from the exchange, this is literally how you just get into the game, right? So you can get your in-game cash and then off you go. So we
I'm a bit
also have.
confused. Like, where is cash? Where are all these statistics stored? Is this? It's not. It's obviously not a token. So, is it off chain somewhere? Like all this accounting.
So with the in-game cash, all of the in-game cash transactions are actually blockchain transactions, right? Because, you know, it has that level of security and transparency for everyone. But in-game cash basically is just one of the inflationary features of the game. It's how all of the in-game tasks get rewarded in in-game cash, and then we have, you know, let's just say we have 50 different ways to earn the in-game cash. There's probably 60 or 70 different ways that the in-game cash then will get burnt also inside the game in order to keep that balance, because we want to try and keep it ratioed as much as possible with the Mafia token itself.
It's very interesting. I mean, there's so much thought that went into all the different dynamics here, and I can see it's been growing. I haven't looked at this in months, quite honestly. But last time I looked at it, I think the price was about the same as it was now. Mafia price has been picking up a little bit lately, but it's I want to stress to people, this isn't like a speculation on the price game. You're buying it. People are buying it for the usage of the game. Of course, you can buy the Mafia token if you think a lot of people are going to start aping in to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost as much utility as you could possibly have, even though it is kind of, you know, the whole Mafia thing is kind of memey, but it's not a meme coin by any means.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Jacob is very fond of saying, you know, this is real utility that pays out real money. You're trading your time for money, basically. So, you know, you really are earning while you're doing this. So, you know, is it a play to earn? Well, yes. I mean, you're playing the game and you're getting rewarded. If you're successful, you're getting rewarded in in-game cash, which then you can ratio out. Another feature then of the exchange is to convert. So if you open up some of these inventory items through the crates, you can choose to sell those back to the protocol, and the protocol will give you a number on it. You can see here, so I have a shed here in Chicago. If I wanted to convert that, so the protocol would pay me $76,000 in-game cash for that item if I wanted
that's
to.
about the price of a shed in Chicago, you know. Very accurate.
Yeah, and then we have a new feature here, which is the OTC desk, right? So different players can sell different items. They can literally trade with other players if they want to. Again, we can see here that somebody is selling an OG NFT for a piece of land. They're trying to get some land. Some people are trading these helper bots for in-game cash. So they're trying to offload some of their inventory items. So there's so much to this game. It is it's like I say, this is really a bit of a monster of a game. But however much you want to put into the game is what you get out of it. You know, you can choose to play this nice and easy, earn yourself $50 a day, or you can go all out and you can say, I want, I want $500, $600 a day.
So tell me about the top players. How much have they been earning? And
So
who
at the
are they?
moment, yeah. So at the moment, right, nobody's physically earning from the vault right now. But any players that have ranked up their land, for example, they are earning this city inflation, this inflationary yield. They're earning the in-game cash straight away, and they are, like I said, on the exchange, they are able to ratio that back out to Mafia token. So there's a number of different ways you can get paid already in the game, even without the vault. We can see here that if we click Nunzio, so Nunzio is from the Salamancas family, based in Detroit, and Nunzio right now is gearing up to receive 120 million pulse every week from the vault. So if the vault was to go live, that would be his payment out there straight away.
Wow. Which
We can
is,
see
was that a few grand?
120 million pulse. That's that's about what, $5,000 maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
That's him as an individual player. That's not too bad.
My God. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we're starting to see a lot. We're starting to see a lot of that.
Nunzio's gonna watch out for everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, Nunzio is in the family, right? So he's got the protection of a family behind him too. We can see here, yeah, so he's geared up to getting 120. We can see Nunzia is another player from the same family, due to be getting 54 million pulse a week. We can see down here, James Bond from the agency is due to be getting 60 million pulse every week. Iceberg Slim from the Hustlers. Hustlers was actually Lit Gaines' family.
Oh yeah.
My life is awesome. He set up that family. Yeah, they're due to be getting 50 million pulse a week. And then we have a number of people who are actually crossed out here. It says vault suspended. That's because their family currently haven't secured enough spots on the map around their headquarters to guarantee their safety. So right now, these families need to be thinking, very strategic about getting all of these land tiles, securing your area so you can start getting all the, getting these, securing these vault payments. But like I say, the vault payments aren't going to be going active until the game is fully launched. So we still have a few modules to go. I think if we have a look here, this is our in-game wiki. So the in-game wiki is basically a white paper. It has absolutely everything that you would need to know about the game. We can see that right now, Marketing DAO is number 8. So that's just gone live. And then we have 9, 10, 11, 12. Number 13, the vault requirements have already been secured over on Pulse. And then we have official launch. So open for business and pre-ranking and raid spots, communication. They're relatively small phases that have to come, because the map, building out the metaverse, was obviously the biggest one. It took the longest. But I think, we're on the home stretch now when it comes to launch, and it's going to be a lot of fun, Coffee. It's really going to be a lot of fun when this comes around.
I love it, man. It's truly one of the more creative projects I've seen being built on PulseChain. And I don't game, it's hard for me to wake up every day and just want to go buy boxes, but I can see how it's addicting. Like I don't game because I don't let myself, but that's because I used to probably game too much back in the day. You know what I mean? So, but I understand that this is a giant sector of people, a giant, and for the most part, within moderation, it's a fun thing to do. You can kind of community build with your family, hang out with your friends and Telegram and strategize on your next couple of steps. And it's such a big pocket of people that could be onboarded, especially multi-chain, that I really hope it works out.
Yeah, I think that you hit the nail on the head there, right? There's a huge sociify aspect to this. It's not just about the game, really. We've seen in the few months now that we've been preparing this and building it up, we've seen in Telegram, we've seen real friendships being made. I see it. I see the way people talk to each other. I see the way people interact with each other. People have made real friends because of this game. Some people, I don't doubt, people have made enemies already because of this game.
Look, I mean, that's awesome. Think about all the time you might waste in Telegram chats already, and why not just like if you're already spending hours a day on Telegram, like you might as well play this game, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of creating a character which costs like $3.50, I mean, create your character and see what happens. You know, build up your own inventory for yourself. Have some fun opening the crates. You know, join the telegrams. Definitely join the telegrams. Start to reach out to some of the other players. If you want to play this game as quite a serious player, you know, you have to jump into the telegrams, and the right family for you will find you. I mean, they're actively recruiting. Some of the families have their own you know, their own social media profiles where they do
Yeah, the
active
gearheads
recruitment.
really wanted me. The gearheads added me to their group, but I haven't. I've basically just been like, you know, an NPC. I haven't really been doing much. So
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, hey,
there's
there you
more
go.
to be tracked.
If the gearheads are after you,
Sorry.
if the gearheads are after you, I mean, it might be worth picking up that phone.
Man, there's so much going on in PulseChain. It's like it's hard to try to keep track of everything, but like I said, this is one of the most. This is really cool, and I just I love what you guys are doing. We're at about an hour, so I just want to wrap up with any closing thoughts. It looks like you guys are almost at the official launch, but for anybody thinking about getting into this, you can start to get involved now. It's almost a pre-launch phase, right? Is there any final
Exactly.
topics that?
This is early access. Right now is early access, right? You know, you couldn't be earlier to this, really, right? The game's not even live yet. Like I say, because we have this marketing DAO now, which is going to, I think the marketing DAO is going to start filling up quite quickly. You know, we have a lot of plans. I'm actively speaking to, I don't know, close to 100 people, I guess, on a regular basis, both in PulseChain and outside of PulseChain for marketing for this. We have a very exciting road to go down for marketing this game, because all the new people that I think are going to be coming to crypto this cycle, and especially the next cycle, are people that have played games or they are gamers, right? You know, we invite those kind of people. Crypto just invites that kind of person.
It does.
You know,
I mean, a lot of
yeah,
people
and
in the gaming culture, they inherently understand crypto. They're crypto native. You know, NFTs,
exactly.
Fortnite skins, it's all the same.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, they're coming over here. So I would like to say this game, this game is basically everything DeFi wrapped up in a game parcel, right? You know, it's staking, it's NFTs, it's NFT marketplace, it's, you know, teaching people what yield is, you know, inflationary yield, what is real yield, you know, all of these different things. And it's wrapped up in this fun little game parcel. So I think those people, that crowd, when they start coming over here, they're going to see this. And especially when they see the amounts of, you know, revenues that people are making, it's a no-brainer. And I think for PulseChain, to be perfectly honest, between you and me, and well, actually, and anyone else who's watching, but
Everybody else.
yeah, but I think every now and again a protocol comes around that the PulseChain community must get behind if they want PulseChain to be successful. And I think this is one of those protocols. It's one of those types of protocols. It has everything that the chain needs. Not even speaking about the number of transactions that this pushes through the chain for the validators. I mean,
That's true.
it's absolutely insane. Jacob was talking last week. I think we were on with RH Max, and he was saying, you know, this protocol right now has 17 different smart contracts running through it. I think he said that just the in-game economy itself, the transactions was like there's something like 75,000 transactions a day. It was absolutely, it was insane the way he was talking about it. But we know as well that the protocol that sort of birthed this one, which is another one of Jacob's protocols, at one time, that protocol by itself was responsible for 10% of all the traffic and transactions that was on PulseChain. And this is much bigger, and you know, this is a much bigger beast than that. So just if you want to talk about an active chain, this is the protocol that's pretty much doing it.
Damn. I mean, shout out
People
to
just
you
need to
guys.
take notice.
Shout out to Jacob. And I guess it'd probably help if we mentioned the URL, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
PulseMafia.io. I'll put that in the link below. PulseMafia.io. If you
That's
want to
it.
check this out, you already
PulseMafia.io is perfect.
Sorry?
I was just going to say, yeah, PulseMafia.io is absolutely perfect. All right, jump into Telegrams, t.me/PLS Mafia. Pay us a visit.
Yeah, I love the passion on you guys and wish you the best. But let's wrap it up. Everybody go check it out. PulseMafia.io. See you on the next one.